leveraging analytics in an evolving market. Joining us to speak about that today is Shane Snyder, President, Barcoding, Inc. Shane, welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Shane, if you could give us a laundry list of the biggest influences in the supply chain that folks are contending with today, what would they be?
Yeah, so the supply chain is certainly going through a significant evolution, both in terms of technology, as well as how people are leveraging that technology. And as I think about that laundry list that's out there, there's really 4 or 5 that we focus on as an organization, or that our clients are talking about. One is, it's such a competitive environment out there today, kind of regardless of the type of organization we're working with, whether it's a healthcare organization or a retail organization, manufacturing, transportation, logistics. The one consistent component throughout it all is that there's more competition than ever. The competition's faster, smarter than ever, so constantly having to adjust to continue to be competitive. Other technologies are being introduced. Mobile and wearable technologies are growing, both in terms of company-issued types of technologies, as well as almost every employee every day is walking in the door with some form of mobile technology. And so how does that play into the business transactions that we're doing, and how do we leverage that, or how do we protect ourselves in that environment? Other things that we hear out there in the marketplace today are people are collecting more data than ever, right? Sensors are everywhere. Everybody's talking about the Internet of Things. And really at the essence of that, what that really means is that we're getting more data from more sources than we've ever gotten before. And so data is always interesting. It's a function of, what do we do with that data? Not only in terms of storing it and processing it, but what can I do that from a decision standpoint to actually impact my organization? Other things that people are faced with, the workforce is very much changing out there today, and it's an evolving workforce. We've got an aging workforce. At the same time, we've got a whole new crop of people entering the workforce who use technologies differently. One group is afraid of Twitter, or has never heard of Twitter, and the other people can't live without it. Just as a quick example, right? And the other piece that is really changing the marketplace is people talk about big data and analytics, which I talked about a little bit in terms of the Internet of Things, but that's a whole separate category of types of product solutions and things that people need to think about. And a lot of our responsibility, and a lot of what we find ourselves doing, is spending a great deal of time kind of demystifying those technologies to put them in a context where people can actually use them to impact their business.
Let me put on my prospective customer hat, if I will, and perhaps you might put on your salesman's hat. If I come walking in the door at Barcoding, Inc., walk me through just what it is you're going to do to help me deal with the very issues and changes that you just outlined.
Yeah, so it's probably things that we should have been doing from an industry standpoint for the last 20 years. But today it's more important than ever, is that rather than focusing on technologies or solutions or software or sets of services, really need to flip things around very much today, where we spend a lot more time working with our clients, understanding their business more clearly. Not only understanding it in terms of their size of business or the industry that they're in or the number of employees they have, but really spend a lot of time understanding their business processes and understanding what technology currently exists within their organization today, what their goals are for their organization from it could be anything from a revenue increase standpoint, reduction of cost standpoint, retention of employees standpoint, customer satisfaction, customer loyalty standpoint, really understanding those fundamental underlying business issues of that organization before we ever start talking about what fancy technologies we might have to offer, the latest gadget that might be in the marketplace. Those are all very interesting. They're all very important part of the solution that we end up delivering, but in and of themselves, they really don't mean anything, right? They have to be put in the context of, how are you going to use it as a client to impact your business, to either drive more revenue, reduce your cost structure, or improve your customer experience. Those are the 3 things we focus on. We always talk about helping organizations be efficient, accurate, and connected. That's great as a buzzword or a tagline from a marketing standpoint, but at the end, drive more revenue for our clients, reduce their cost structure, and or increase their customer satisfaction, customer loyalty. Those are the things that we need to focus on.
Well, more than just a buzzword, no doubt about it. Something that's crucial, has to take place.
Absolutely.
I want to turn to consumerization and AIDC OEMs. I want to ask you about consolidation in that space and how that might be impacting users and integrators. What's your view?
Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword, right? And I think in a way, the consumerization, the prevalence of the smartphone, the flexibility of the smartphone, the self-service nature of the smartphone is wonderful in that, as a smartphone user myself, I mean, it adds a lot of value to my life every day. How that interacts with my business process is another matter, right? So the good news is that it gets people thinking about the technology and the what ifs, what sorts of things I can do with this technology, and that's a wonderful thing. So it helps us do the education piece in the marketplace. The downside is that sometimes people get confused about the industrial nature of a smart device. Truck drivers are a lot of our customers. A lot of my end users are truck drivers. They're delivering beer, they're delivering bananas, they're delivering all kinds of things. They're not always the most gentle with the technology, right? So even though I might have a lot of capabilities in a consumer grade device, the durability factor really comes into play where I've got to make sure that that device is available as that truck driver is in front of somebody in terms of delivering a product out there. So even though it's functional, I've got to make sure that it's durable enough to withstand the test of time or withstand the test of a truck driver delivering cases of wine in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's a hostile environment, no doubt about it. Got to have the ruggedness built into that sort of thing. Here at the forum, there has been a tremendous look into, great interest into analytical tools and techniques and in leveraging that. Question for you is, how is Barcoding Inc. leveraging those very tools and techniques to impact your users?
Right, so we're really focused on two different areas. Analytics and big data, those kinds of tools, they're a part of the business world today. Certainly everybody's talking about it today. And it's just a matter of how do we make sure that they have an impact with the organization. So we've taken two different paths with it, and they're interrelated. One is to deliver a set of analytics tools that help people get more value out of the investment that they've made in that mobile platform, in that data collection platform, right? And we try to think about it in terms of making sure that those devices are available in the moments that matter. So from a analytics standpoint, from a predictive analytics standpoint on the platform, we want to tell an end user they're having a problem before they know it, right? So we'll do things like we're monitoring battery usage, or we're monitoring employee interaction with those devices. So we can actually measure how effectively people are using the applications that they've spent good capital dollars on, how effectively people are using those applications out there today. Not only how effective they are, but what are the adoption rates? We just did a presentation 20 minutes ago. We talked about an example, one of our clients who invested a substantial amount of money in a mobile platform, and they were only having 57% utilization rate. They didn't know that. They thought it was fully deployed. Well, we measured it through our analytics tools. We were able to demonstrate the 57% adoption rate of that technology, work with them closely to develop a different training methodology, a different monitoring methodology, so that we've now got their utilization rate up over 75%. Made a substantial difference in terms of their return on their investment. So that's one piece of it. So analytics surrounding the use of data collection applications, right? And that's fantastic. We're taking it a step further because we don't use data collection or automated data collection in a vacuum, right? We're using it in the context of the overall business. So we've added another analytics layer that allows us to take the data that we're collecting from a mobile standpoint, integrating it with other data within the organization, things like time and attendance data, payroll data, production data, other cost data that we can pull into one analytics system to give people a full 360-degree view of the effectiveness of their labor workforce, help them with making decisions about the timing of when they hire a new employee, what their staffing levels should be. We can project a budgeted versus actual during the course of a pay period versus waiting to the end of a pay period and seeing what happened. We'd like to be able to tell our clients, it's Tuesday, if you continue down this path in terms of how your productivity, this is where you're going to be at the end of the week. So I actually have a chance to make a decision that's going to positively impact my organization before it ever happens, right? And if we do that, then we win, right? We win in terms of being successful in delivering a real value-added application to our client that gets beyond the buzzword of big data, analytics, all those things that the marketeers use out there, which are fine, but being able to change somebody's schedule, being able to change how people are using technology within their organization to have a real impact that's either driving additional revenue for that client, reducing their cost structure, or improving their customer experience, then we both win.
The takeaway, it seems to me, is analytics used for a comprehensive improvement throughout the enterprise. That is a good thing. Great information.
Absolutely.
Shane, I know that you're busy here at the forum, but you found time to sit down and speak with us. Thank you so very, very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Russell. I appreciate your time this afternoon.
That's Shane Snyder, Barcoding Inc., speaking with us today about leveraging analytics in an evolving market. Thank you for watching.